Good afternoon. I'd like to demonstrate adding a unit test to an ObjectScript application that's using the InterSystems Package Manager. I'll show adding unit tests to an existing application, the Package Manager commands you can use to run your tests, and how you can track test coverage statistics. My starting point is going to be based off of the ObjectScript package template. This is a template you can find on the GitHub page for the InterSystems community. You'll notice I have a module.xml. This is a manifest file that describes all of the resources associated with my application. I'm just going to be worried about this one very simple class that has some toy methods in it. I'd like to start off by adding a unit test for this one method, return it works. To do that, I'm going to create a new class in the test directory. The name of this class is going to be unit test dot the name of the class that I'm testing. To make it a unit test, it has to extend unit test dot test case. And to create a test in this test case, I just need to add a method whose name starts with the string test. Since I'm testing this one method, I'm going to call it test return it works. All I'm going to do in this method is call the method I want to test and make an assertion about the result. Alright, now that I've added my test class, I want to first load my codebase into an Iris instance. I'll do that by entering the Package Manager shell and running a load command. I see here it loaded all of my code, it compiled it, and it configured it successfully. Now I can run another command in here to run my unit test. The first part of that is going to be the name of the package, which I haven't changed from the template, and then test. You'll notice this does the same reload and the same tests. You'll see there were no tests run as part of this, and that's because I missed a step. Remember, this module.xml file is a manifest of all of the resources, but it's missing a resource for my unit tests, so I'm going to add that now. The name is going to be the subdirectory that my tests live under, and I'm also going to give it a package, which is the package of classes that my unit tests live under. Now let's try that test command again. Alright, now I'm running my tests, and I see that one of them failed. This assertion is failing because the string isn't what I expect it to be. I'm going to say that's a default of my test. So I'm going to fix that to match what I actually want it to be, and rerun. I'm actually going to give it another flag here, since I don't want to reload the entire application before running my test. I'll pass in dash only. You'll see that was much faster, and I'll see everything passed. Say I want to see what passed. I'm going to add another flag, -v for verbose, and now I get all of the application output from the unit test manager. I'll see my test assert equals fail, or it succeeds this time. While I'm at it, I'll show you a couple more commands I can put onto this. Say I have a lot of unit tests. I'm debugging just one of them. I can pass in .unit test.case, and that case name will be the name of the class. It does the same thing because I only have one unit test, but trust me, if there were a bunch of others, it would only run this one. I can even specify which method specifically with -unit test.method. All right, that's an introduction to running the unit tests through the package manager. I mentioned earlier being able to track test coverage. These are some statistics about how much of my code is actually covered by my tests. These are useful because if I don't have those metrics, I probably won't add any unit tests. I'll just write my code because that's easier. In order to track test coverage, I'm going to install a package called TestCoverage from the package manager. This is on the community registry. It's an open source package. I'm not actually going to install it here because I already have it installed. We'll see test coverage is installed. In order to use test coverage with my unit tests, there's a couple of steps. First is to go back to my module.xml and add another parameter here to my unit test resource. I'm going to say that my manager class is the one from test coverage, testcoverage.manager. This is something that's documented on the unit test coverage package. You can find that on GitHub. I'll save that. I also have to tell test coverage which application code should have statistics tracked for it. I'll do that by creating a new file under my test directory called coverage.list. And this will just be a new line separated list of resources. I'm going to tell it to track classes in this package where my application lives. Once I have those two steps complete, I'm going to rerun my tests. You'll notice I passed in the dash only, so it didn't actually do the reload. So that manager class fix didn't get loaded. Let's try that again. All right, now I have a statistic, 1%. Code coverage is 8.7%. There's even a URL I can use to view the test coverage data, class by class, routine by routine. Here I see I have one class with code that's covered, and I can even see which code is covered. Green is good, red not so good. All right, I see some red. I want to improve my coverage. I'm going to do that by adding another test method. Apologies in advance, this is not going to be a very useful method. This is just going to test that version method. This just returns the iris version. I'll just assert that includes iris. Not a very good test, but it's just a toy example. Now we've added our new test method. Let's run our tests again. And we see number has gone up. I'm going to view the test coverage data again. And that should show me that a little bit more of our code is covered.